Welcome to story time, once more from Thailand, and actually the last time from Thailand. I'm having an amazing day right now, creating content front, left and center, and I'm going to tell you a story now from 2006, I think 2006, yeah, 2006 it was, and it's about this. This is a signed CD by what was once in my life my favorite singer in the world. He's still very much up there, to be honest. There's a little twist to this because his name was Keys Caputo. Nowadays he's called Minor Caputo because he's a she now. So yeah, anyway, at the time he was still a man. And the thing was like in 1997. So 10 years prior to this story, I became a massive fan of the band Life of Agony, which again still is pretty much up there for me. I love the band, and he was the front singer. And the thing was like the reason I loved him was for his voice, and the reason I loved the band was for his voice and for the guitar sound. It was completely new and different at the time. Absolutely adored that band. And the thing is like he's a very short man, and he was not just because he's short, but he was never really like my type, let's say. I just absolutely adored his voice and his singing and the band as a whole. So because my life is weird, so if you follow like a lot of my stories, like my life is weird. What happened was in 2006, no, so it was New Year's Eve 2005, where I actually wrote Keith on MySpace. The other day I was already talking about MySpace. Do you remember MySpace? Yeah. So it was actually something where you could make friends with a lot of musicians. It was something that was mainly catering for musicians, and I was friends on MySpace with the whole band, like each member. But thing is, you know, you didn't have like nowadays on Twitter or something, the little verification check mark. So it wasn't really clear if it was him or not, you know, or the whole band or something. So I had him as a friend, and New Year's Eve, because the band came out of Brooklyn, I was in England, and I wrote him on MySpace and just went, hey, happy New Year, blah blah blah. Was wondering how New Year's Eve looks like in New York, right? And he, to my surprise, he answered and said, well, I'm not in New York right now, I'm in Europe. I'm like, what? That's crazy. So basically he said he's in Holland, and I knew that he had like some connections there with his solo project that he was doing. So then I said, oh, while you're still in Europe, do you want to meet for a beer? It was just a completely weird, random question to ask. But because my life is weird, he said yes. So I, you know, still not knowing if it was him, I still managed to take a couple days off, book a flight to Amsterdam, and I thought, you know, if it's not him, if it's like some weirdo teenager or something that's pulling a prank, I still have a weekend in Amsterdam, so whatever, you know. So I flew over, and at the train station in Amsterdam comes a little man with a hood, throws back the hood, and says hi, and it was him. And I was literally like, I was like, it's you, and he was like, yeah, it's me. So it was absolutely amazing. So we ended up going to well, first we was at some cafe, then we went to some Thai restaurant, and just like chatting, and it was amazing because he showed me in his wallet, he showed me a picture of his mom, and at the time there was no picture public of his mom. It was like telling a lot of, like, in his songs he's telling a lot of stories because his mom died of a heroin overdose, so and he's obviously very hurt still because he never actually got to know her, and so a lot of the songs are about this pain and like life of agony and all that. So it was amazing to see those pictures of his mom that has never been seen before, right? And just in general, it was like I could ask all the questions. You were being an absolute fan of the band, it was like I could ask whatever I wanted, spending time with him, and we ended up at a absinthe bar in Amsterdam. So it's obviously not like the real stuff that you get there. Probably could get it somewhere under the counter or something. but it was just like some random other, you know, with the lady at the bar was like a mohawk. There was like fire and stuff, so it was pretty epic. And we sat there for hours just chatting and drinking absinthe. And at some point, we went back to the hotel, and I have to say we made out a little. Nothing much more happened because I wasn't that interested. It was like really, in the end, he was an absolute gentleman the whole day. It was absolutely the perfect day for. If it was a date, it was a date. I guess it was a date in a way, but it was just simply the way he behaved the whole day, as a man and as a rock star with a fan. He behaved just amazingly, and so in the end something happened a little, but you know, not all of it. It was really weird though, because in Europe he was quite famous at the time. So when we were walking through like the red light district in Amsterdam, and every time there was like some guys walking around that looked like rock fans, he quickly put his hood back on and just like turned away, or made me walk in front of him or something, because he's so much smaller than me, or shorter. So that was quite an interesting experience, and it was really nice, because I actually had booked to stay on a houseboat just in case that this whole thing is just a hoax, right? And he in the end paid for another night for me while he had to travel on, and I could stay another night in the hotel. So all in all, complete gentleman, really nice guy. And it's one of these weird stories of my life where I just go, hey, you want to do that? To like a random rock star. Not random, but anyway, a rock star. And he just goes, okay, let's do it. My life is full of these kind of adventures, and I love it, because, you know, it would be boring if it wasn't. And I'm really happy that I do these things and just ask these stupid questions. And I can only recommend you, everybody out there, to do the same thing. If you want something, if you're up to something, if you're interested in something, just say it, you know. And the good thing is, this is the same stuff that counts for if you like that girl or if you like that guy. Just tell them, you know. Life is short, just say it. Worst that can happen is a no, and that's it. Done, you know. It's the worst thing would be not to ask the question, because that's pure agony for a long time. So if you want something, if you're interested in something, ask for it, or just go do it. Alright, that's my story for the day. See you next week. Bye.